Hey guys, this is Single Dad with Single Dad Living. Today I'd like to show you a little recipe for yeast rolls, or lunch lady hot rolls as they were known in school. And there's not a lot to it. Anybody can make this at all, anybody. It's very easy. It's one of these things you can do that's, we're all so busy in our lives, especially us single parents. We're busy working, cleaning the house, paying bills, doing laundry and such. And it's really hard to get a home cooked meal or something home cooked anyways, for our children whenever they come to visit, or if you've got them and you're still working, and it's really hard to keep up with stuff. So today, just something nice and easy. These are just hot rolls. You can bake them right after pretty well much after you make them, and let them rise a second time. Or once you get the rolls made, you can throw them on a little pan and throw them out in the freezer and let them freeze up. Throw them into a Ziploc freezer baggie, and then you'll have rolls just anytime you want, really. This recipe here should probably make, I don't know, 30, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. About 30 rolls, though, is about what we're shooting for. And what I've got here in this pan, or in this bowl, should I say, is I've got 5 cups of bread flour. Now, you can use all-purpose flour also. There's no difference. I had extra bread flour, so that's what I'm using today. Usually, I will make them out of all-purpose flour, though. And in here, I've got about a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of lard. You can use shortening. You don't want to just use liquid oil. You do want like a Crisco or something to put in it. 2 tablespoons of that. I used lard. So 2 tablespoons of lard. About 1/3 of a cup of sugar is also in here. And what I've done is I've just by hand, as I've gone through, and I've kind of rubbed my fingers together through that lard or the Crisco, if that's what you're using, and just broke it up and got it spread throughout. And that's what I've done with that. And that's my flour mixture. Now, also, here I've got 1.5 cups of warm water. Some people will say blood warm. I say temperature-wise, you're looking at about 100 to 110 degrees worth of warm water is what you want, 1.5 cups of it. And to that, you can add 1 package of dry active yeast is what it is. I buy it in the little brown jars from Fleshman's. You get it at Walmart or your whatever grocery store you pretty well much shop at. They'll have it, and it comes out to 2¼ teaspoons of the yeast. So you put the yeast in the warm water. You add about 1/2 teaspoon of just plain old sugar, give the yeast a little something to eat on, and you just set it to the side and you let it proof up. And that's the stage we're at now. I mean, it's nice and bubbly and foamy. The yeast is active, it's alive, and that's what you want. Something like that. That usually takes about 5 minutes or so. And to that, in this cup right here, I've got 1 egg that I've beaten. And I've beaten that 1 egg. So I'm going to pour in my 1 egg, because I just want to get my liquid ingredients all together, is all I really want to do, instead of just dumping it all one item at a time into the flour. So I've got my 1 egg, and in this cup I've got 2 tablespoons of butter that I've melted. You can use margarine, but butter is, it's butter. I like it better, but I do have margarine. So we'll add that to it. That's 2 tablespoons of the melted butter. And in here, I've got 1/8 cup of milk. So I'm going to add my milk in. And that's it. That's it for the wet ingredients. And my dry ingredients are right here. So what I like to do, and you can do this with a KitchenAid mixer, some kind of big sturdy mixer, if you're going to be mixing dough. You need a sturdy mixer for it. God, please don't use the one with the little beaters on it. Get a good sturdy mixer like a KitchenAid. Those work best. I used to have one, but it's no longer have it. I've lost it during a move. So you add your liquid to your flour. At that point in time, now you can use a spoon or a fork or whatever. I just like to just get my hands down in it. And I like to just start mixing. Just get it mixed. And that's all you really got to do, is you get it mixed. And it's going to stick to your fingers, and it's going to look messy, and you're going to go, oh God, there's not enough liquid, there's too much flour. No. And also at first you're going to be thinking, I've got too much flour. Well, no, you don't. You really don't. And you're just going to mix it to combine it. And you're going to see that it's all going to kind of clump together, and you're going to have a lot of flour left over. But trust me, it will get mixed in. It's just a matter of just working that dough together and getting it done. And the smell of this also, you'll get a hint of that yeastiness. And that's just delicious. I love the smell of it. And these things are tasty. You know, now I'm not going to sit here and take the credit for the recipe. That comes from a woman, and I don't know her name, but she's on YouTube, and it's Whippoorwill Holler is her site, and that's where this recipe came from. And she was a school lunch lady for years and years, and she has shared this recipe online for us all, you know, and us single parents. Trust me, you need to follow people like her, because she's already been there, done that, and she's got good recipes. And a lot of stuff that I'm going to do here on the channel is going to be coming from YouTube, and I'll give credit where credit is due always. You know, these aren't my recipes. These are a single dad doing what he can to make ends meet and to try to provide something for his family that's, you know, better than what came out of the freezer department at the Walmart. And so we're just going to keep on going, and it's going to look like an old shaggy mess, and you're not going to have it all incorporated. Trust me. You know, a lot of that, there's still some down the bowl. It's all going to come together. I promise you, it will. If you got to pick it up and add it in and mash it in with your fingers, and I'm just throwing dough everywhere. That's what you do. And once you get this combined, like I've just about got it. I mean, it is just about all together now. And see, it's still sticking to my hand a little bit, but not as bad as it was at the beginning. So we can kind of pull some of that off, put it there. All right. Now I'm going to kind of roll it around the sides of my bowl and try to pick up anything extra, because it's all dough, and this dough costs money to make. But it don't cost as much as buying the frozen dough or bread roll doughs and stuff at the supermarket. So we've got that, and see, I got it all. It all came together. It's all right there. And so what you want to do at this point, let me clear some of this out of the way. Get up out of this. All right. So at this point in time, you've got this dough, and it's nice. It's soft. It ain't super sticky or anything. It is just a little tacky, but it's not super sticky. So what you want to do is you want to knead this for about 5 minutes. And all that entails is just roll it for, I will grab this corner here, closest to me. I'll pull it out, up, over, and get it about the halfway mark. And then use the palm of my hand to push it forward. And I'll just keep going. And I'll do that. You know, and I'm doing that left-handed right now. When my arm gets tired, I'll use my right hand. And I'll use both hands, just like this. And just push down. We're just going to knead the dough. We need 5 minutes worth of kneading. And it's still just a little sticky, a little tacky. Don't worry about flouring down your countertop or anything. It should just roll right off of it. I'm not, you know, there's nothing sticking down here. And that's what you want to do. And you just want to knead it. Get it nice and kneaded. Bring it all together. We're bringing it together. We're creating the gluten that's going to make the bread. And, you know, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep on going for 5 minutes. And after that, we're going to put it back down into a bowl with a little bit of oil. We're going to cover it. And we're going to put it in a warm, draft-free place. Now, for me, I ain't got that luxury of a draft-free place really anywhere in the house. The air conditioner's on, so it's blowing air and keeping things kind of nice and cool. But, you know, my oven. I've got my regular old oven. You can put it in your microwave oven. It might not be warm enough in there. But I'm going to use my oven. It don't work, but the pilot light does light. But the fire just won't come on for some odd reason. I guess I got to buy a new stove or figure out a way to get that fixed. But anyways, you just keep on kneading. And like I said, we're going to put it in a draft-free, warm place. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to grab a bowl. Well, you can actually use the same bowl that you mixed it in originally, and that will work. Keep it from dirtying up too much. Like I said, this dough, it's going to be nice and soft. It's just going to be a little sticky, not super sticky by any means. See, I can hit it. Nothing's coming off. It's not sticking to my counter. So we're going to do that, and we're just about finished kneading. We really are. I mean, it's coming together good. It's finally starting to smooth out, which is what you want. That's why we're kneading it. You know, like I said, we're building the gluten in the flour, the gluten strands that's going to give the bread the structure it needs to rise up and all the little air bubbles to do its thing and to develop the flavor. Yep. And that's pretty well much it. Now then, you know, I know a lot of you are going to just be watching this and go, well, that ain't doing much for me. You know, at least now you can make a roll, if anything, single parents out there. You can make a homemade roll. You ain't got to go to the store and buy it. You got it. Right here. It's quick and easy. There's nothing to it. You know, and mainly even if you don't like it, you ain't getting much from it, that's fine too. This mainly is really and truly, this is for my children to know. When they can go, well, Dad sure did make some nice rolls. When we were kids growing up, I sure did like them. Well, here you are, kids. That's how Daddy makes his rolls. So let me get a little oil. No, that one's empty. It's all right. I got some buttery flavored spray, oily spray. So I'm just gonna spray my bowl with it. Why not? It's there. I can use that. So I'm gonna get my dough. Nice and lovely. I've balled him up a little bit. I'm gonna throw him down in my bowl that I just sprayed my little bit of oil down in. And I'm gonna kind of just roll it around just a hair bit. Kind of keeps it from drying out. That's one thing. It also keeps it from sticking down into the bowl. So there we go. There's that. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that woman from Whippoorwill Holler sharing this. I really can't tell her or anyone else how much I appreciate that. That works great. So anyways, like I said, I'm going to put this down here in my oven. It's going to sit in here for about 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. It kind of depends. It is a warm, dry, draft-free place. So we're going to let it rise up. So while that's rising, we're going to wait. And whenever it does, we'll come back. We'll punch it down. We'll pull it out. We'll start pinching our rolls off. And we'll show you how to do that because I learned that from her, from that woman on YouTube at Whippoorwill Holler. She'll show you how to pinch rolls off, and I'll show you the same thing that I learned from watching her. And then at that point, it's basically just let them rise the second time, and you can bake them off. or you can get them pinched off into your dough balls. You can take them out to your freezer and you can freeze those and get them in bags. And we'll get back with that just as soon as this is ready for us.